Take a look at some singles right now that are going crazy. The card shops around us aren't getting restocked right now. Everybody's just kind of in limbo. So let's take a look at a couple things. Number one, Mega Charizard on eBay, it's between 550 and 600. And in a PSA 10, it's still up there, over $1,500 right now, in the $1,900 range. It's still a hot item. So with people saying it's a short printed set, Mega Charizard X is still expensive. It's under $400 in a raw copy, but still PSA 10, it is a insane card right now. Mega Evolutions top chases will do. Mega Gardevoir is technically number one in a lot of people's eyes, but it's like 150 to 175 raw, and then it's under 400 in a PSA 10. Mega Lucario is in the same boat, 150 to 175 raw, and then about 380 in a PSA 10 right now. The gold cards, we can't forget about them. They're expensive, $300 raw, and then about $1,100 in a PSA 10 for the Mega Lucario. The Mega Gardevoir is about 220 to 250 raw, and then about 700 in a PSA 10. Those are really where your money is in this set. It drops off when you get to like the Venusaur. It's about $120 raw, and then in a PSA 10 it's only about $250. I'm going to take a look at Destined Rivals because a lot of people still are seeing Destined Rivals on shelves. When it comes to booster packs themselves, the Mewtwo is in the range of 400 to 450 raw, and then about 1100 to 1200 in a PSA 10 right now. Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Cynthia's Garchomp is the other top chase of this set. There's really a couple cards that people want out of this set. It's about $200 raw, and then about 500 in a PSA 10. The other one is Ethan's Ho-Oh. It's in the range of about 120 to 150 raw, and then about 400 in a PSA 10. Team Rocket's Moltres is $90 raw now, and then about 320 in a PSA 10. Team Rocket's Nidoking is in the same boat, about $90 raw, and then about 270 in a PSA 10. And the other card, this is Misty Psyduck. The last time we were going heavy on singles, looking up plays for singles, it's been about $40 raw. It dipped to closer to 30 for a little bit, but now it's coming back. It's in the range of about 250 in a PSA 10. This is one of the hardest cards to grade in this set through what the data shows about a lot of these sets that are out there right now. We are going to hit White Flare up in Black Bolt just for the Red Victini and the Reshiram's. Really not going to go too crazy. The Red Victini in a raw copy is somewhere between $300 and $400, and then in a PSA 10 it's about $880 to $8 to $900. White Reshiram is in the range of about $320 to $350 raw, and then about $730 in a PSA 10. And shout out to a lot of the people on TikTok that when I make videos on White Flare, people send their photos in, and a lot of people pull the black and white top chases, black for Black Bolt and for White Flare, the Reshiram, the Red Victinis out of both sets, and the Zekrom. 175 for the Reshiram, and then about 380 for it in a PSA 10. That's really where you get your money out of these sets. The Keldeo is probably the other one, and the Oshawott is the other one that a lot of people look for. $50 raw, 150 in a PSA 10, and then Oshawott is about 40 raw, and then about 415 in a PSA 10. That's why I put this one up there, because a lot of people still like to chase the starters. Black Bolt, we're not gonna forget about you. Black Bolt is about $380 for raw for Red Victini, and it's about almost $800 for a PSA 10. The Black Zekrom EX is about $360 raw, and then about almost $900 in a PSA 10. And then the regular Zekrom EX, that's still really tough and difficult to get, is about 190 to 200 raw, and about 370 in a PSA 10. The other cards out of this set people were chasing was Seismitoad is still grossly up there. It's about 120 to 140 raw, and then about 800 in a PSA 10. And that's really where a lot of the value is in these sets, in the top 4 or 5 cards. For these two, at least. Journey Together, I don't want to call it a one-trick pony, because it's not. It's got a lot of nice cards in it. I like the Articuno. I have the Wailor. Like, a lot of people like cards in this set. Lily's Clefairy pops. It's about 120 raw right now. It's about 420 in a PSA 10. So take it with a grain of salt. Make sure you get one, or if you do rip it, check that the edge wear is not there, and the fact that it looks nice matters. But that's really where you're looking at when it comes to Journey Together. Prismatic, we could be here all day looking through the entire set of Prismatic. The total value of the set's insane. It's still about $4,000. Your top 10 chases give you the ballpark range of about $2,500 to $3,000 of value if you hit a god pack. And I mean, we could be here all day looking through this set. Just know Master Ball Umbreon's about 60 now. And then, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cards that are above what the value of buying one pack costs, where not a lot of other sets can even say that. Umbreon is sitting about 1,000 raw, and then it's about a $4,000 PSA 10. Sylveon is about 300 raw and about 1,200 in PSA 10. Leafeon is about 200 to 250 raw and about 600 in a PSA 10. Espeon is about 200 raw and about 850 in a PSA 10. Vaporeon is chilling at about 175 raw and about 875 in a PSA 10. Like, you see your return on investments if you hit your god pack. Searching Sparks, the Pikachu, is chilling right now at about 275 raw and about $800 in a PSA 10. Latias is sitting right now at around 150 raw and about 500 PSA 10. The question is, did we find the bottom for a lot of these cards? And for all the crap people gave Surging Sparks for a while, Surging Sparks is still holding strong. $90 for the Milotic Raw and about $260 in a PSA 10. The Surging Sparks set has 3 real chases. A lot of people pull the Latios. It's about 20 raw, but a 150 in PSA 10. And then if you pair the Latios with, let's find it, the Mesprit, you know, you can get 3 sequentials right there. It's about $10 raw and about 80 in a PSA 10 to make your art on your page, even if you just want the regular cards, to make it all look nice. It's a nice set, nice couple. Stellar Crown, what are we doing here with Stellar Crown? The cards themselves, Squirtle is the most expensive one right now at about 70 raw and about 250 in a PSA 10. Bulbasaur is 50 to 60 raw and about 200 in a PSA 10. The Dachshund is taking over the Terapagos as the third most expensive card in the set at about 30 raw and about 120 to 130 in a PSA 10, and that's shocking. Terapagos, a lot going on in this card, but not everybody's favorite. It's about 30 raw and about 160 in a PSA 10. And that's really where you get a lot of your value. I love the Joltik. One day I'll start collecting Joltiks because I have a couple and it just always makes me smile when I see Joltiks. I can touch on Shrouded Fable. Nothing too crazy. Just know that the Persian really is a lot of people's favorites in this set, about 40 raw and about 200 in the PSA 10. The Pheasantipity is the Pheasantipity. It's not really the main card. It's 40 raw, but it's about 90 in a PSA 10. Nothing too crazy with that card here. Maybe one day Monkey Dory and Houndoom shoot up a little bit, but Houndoom is down right now. Houndoom's down to about 30 raw and about 160 in a PSA 10. And that's really where you get the set's value. I do like the Horsey out of this set. So who knows? Maybe this set will flip it soon. $20 raw and about 110 in a PSA 10. Yeah, if you collect what you like, collect the cards that you like, you're not going wrong. But, you know, is this set the banger set? Earth and Vessel used to be the top chase before they reprinted it for the TCG. Yeah, there's not really a lot to talk about out of this set, and you never really see it anymore. Twilight Masquerade is a hot set that people undervalue because of a lot of the ETBs were reprinted. It's about $300 for the Greninja and about $750 in a PSA 10 for the Greninja. Yeah, don't sleep on it. Perrin is another card, about $90 raw and about $215 in a PSA 10. And Perrin, it's the opposite card to the Growlithe, so both of those cards go together. Eevee, a card that I've seen in card shows plenty of times and almost picked up in a couple card lots, but never gotten lucky enough to just hit the buy button on it. It's about 55 raw right now and about $200 to $220 in a PSA 10. Nice card overall, just a nice card. The Chansey card. Chansey had a run up to $50 and now it's down to about $30. And in a PSA 10 it's about 150. So it's a nice set. There's a lot to do with Twilight Masquerade. Temporal Forces, I'm not a big fan of like the Raging Bolt and all that stuff, but a lot of people like the Deerling and the Sawbuck from this set. And then the Ghastly and Gengars are the main, I would argue, main like chases out of the set. The Cincino's another one. Litten, a lot of people like. Licking Tongue is funny. Just, if cards can make you smile, that's what makes it more fun to look at. But yeah, is there one more? No, I don't really, not really that stands out once you get down below a lot of sets. Oh, there it is, the Snom. I was like, I thought there was one other card that was kind of like just eye popping out of this set. But the reality is people like the Sawbuck, the Deerling, and then the Ghastly, the Morty's Conviction, and the Gengar out of this set. That's really where your money is. Now, the Raging Bolt, is it a nice card? Yeah. Is it a little bit of an expensive card? Kind of. It's about 60 raw and about 210 to 220 in a PSA 10. The Ghastly, on the other hand, is about 55 raw and about 330 in a PSA 10. It was more expensive for a while here. It looks like Gengar is toying with Ghastly there. Iron Crown is another one. It's just a raw copy is about $40 and then the PSA 10 is about 135. Morty's Conviction, it's about 40 raw and about 170 in a PSA 10. And then the Gengar EX is about $200 in a PSA 10. It's about $35 raw. So that's really where you get a lot of your value. Walking Wake is about $100 in a PSA 10. Is about $40 raw. There's not much value in trying to grade that card. The Sawbuck is a nice card. It's about $30 raw and about $130 in a PSA 10. And then the Gouging Fire is about $30 to $35 raw and about $115 in the PSA 10. And then the Deerling to go with the Sawbuck, it's about $20 raw and about $140 in a PSA 10 right now. So Temporal Forces, a lot of people knock on it, but just understand there are great binder copies or binder cards in this set. Paldean Fates, the shiny set that everybody loves. Bubble Mew. We already know about Bubble Mew. It's about $1,600 in a PSA 10. It's about $450 to $500 to even here. There's auctions that are going for 9 for like $550 to $575 raw, depending on how clean it is. Bubble Mew is the big boy. Charizard doesn't fall too far behind it, but it's about 200 raw right now. It's about 600 in a PSA 10. And then the Gardevoir is number 3 in this set. It's about $300 in a PSA 10 and about $100 raw. And Shiny Pikachu, we'll call it there. Shiny Pikachu, what are we doing? $30 raw, $300 in a PSA 10. So keep an eye on the shinies. Nothing too crazy with a lot of them, but just good cards overall. Penny was expensive for a while. It's not really anymore in a PSA 10. It's down under $100 now. Snorlax wasn't too expensive when it comes to it. It's about $20 raw, and it's been floating in the range of $150 for a while in a PSA 10. The Mew card is a little underrated at times. It's about $20 raw, and somewhere between $200 and $300 was for a while in a PSA 10. It's about $190 right now, so there's a pullback there, but this set is going out of rotation. It's an expensive set. Just keep that in mind with it when you're looking for a lot of these cards. Paradox Rift, a lot of people trash this set. I've had I call it the Y-Vital or the Vital or the Veltal. Everybody pronounces things differently. Some of these cards are nice. No two ways about Paradox Rift. I have the Snow Run still. I pulled that. Like cards that you like. I have the Goldengo. Yeah, this was a fun set to open. If I knew nothing and I picked up a pack of Paradox Rift, I thought it was a decent set to felt like you actually got something out of the majority of packs you ripped. But the investor side of you would look at it and be like, oh, there's nothing going on in this set. It's Groudon or bust. But that's not truly the case. Groudon's about a $75 card and about a $400 card in a PSA 10. Altaria, I like cards with other Pokemon in it. It's just my thing. $40 raw and about $200 in a PSA 10. Roaring Moon is chilling in the range of about $30 to $40 raw and about $150 in a PSA 10. Plusle and Minoon, nothing too crazy here with these cards. Minoon is about $20 to $30 raw and about $160 in a PSA 10. Plusle is in the boat of about $20 to $30 raw and about $140 in a PSA 10. And more Pecco, I get a kick out of this card. $25 raw and about $120 in a PSA 10. And then Steelix is nice, Garchomp's nice. You just go down the list and you pick up cards that you like. That's really what singles are about. If you're looking for singles for speculation, stick to the more expensive sets. But if you like all the sets and you want to just get cards you enjoy, there's nothing wrong with that at all. The 151 set itself, the Charizard is, we all know, the top chase, but Charizard has not been doing what you'd think a top chase would do in a lot of the ways. It's about $250 raw, and it's about just under $1,000 in a PSA 10. It dropped all the way raw to about $170 a couple months back. So you just got to understand where it's at. It's about... Yeah, it's on the downward trend right now before 151 goes completely out of print this year. So you got to take that into consideration too with a lot of these cards. You're catching it on a low or a lower opportunity than you were back in the peak around September. So if you think the buy time is in 3 to 6 months, you might be wrong and you might have missed the boat because there were lower or cheaper opportunities to buy a lot of these cards recently. Blastoids is sitting around $80 right now and about $350 in a PSA 10. Venusaur is about $70 to $75 to $80 raw and about $330 in a PSA 10 right now. I mean, we could go through the whole entire set out of this set. It is a nice set. A lot of people like collecting these raw cards. It's about $70 raw for Zapdos and about $300 for a PSA 10. I really wish that this set expanded on a couple more cards out of it, but at the same time, there are a lot of nice cards in this set. The Psyduck makes me smile. I think it's funny. The Poliwhirl is a really nice card. If you can find a clean face copy of Poliwhirl in person, it's a really nice card. The Tangela is hilarious. The Omanite is hilarious. Just a lot of nice cards out of this set, no two ways about it. You just got to collect what you like at the end of the day. That's really what matters. And collect the cards you think are the cards that you want to put in a binder for yourself. The Pikachu, if you want to take a quick look at it, about $40 raw, but it's under $300 in a PSA 10 now. It was up there for a while. So that's really where it's at. Alakazam has been floating on $50 raw for a long time. It's about $250 in a PSA 10. That's really where you have a lot of your value in 151. Obsidian Flames is basically Charizard or bust. It's about $75 raw and about $460 in a PSA 10 for the Obsidian Flames Charizard. The Charizard Gold card is in the range of about $30 raw and about $200 in a PSA 10. Ninetales is a nice card. I've had this card, a couple of them actually. About $20 raw, and it's about a $200 card in a PSA 10. Cleffa is the other card a lot of people like to collect out of this set. It's about $20 raw and about $190 in a PSA 10 right now. The other Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames is about $15 raw and about $125 in a PSA 10. You can collect Lechonk or Pidgey or Scissor if you want to. The Houndours are cute. It's really up to you when it comes to this set, but there's not a whole lot that holds a ton of value out of the set other than the Charizard from Obsidian Flames. Paldea Evolved, Magikarp is king. We all know that. It's about $250 raw and about a $2,100 to $2,300 card in a PSA 10. The Tyranitar, the giant one out of this set, is about a $50 card raw and about a $600 card in PSA 10. The Raichu is about another Sleepy Raichu is about $50 raw and about $400 in PSA 10. And then you get the Iono, the Mousehold, the Tinkaton, the Chi-Yu. Chi-Yu's a nice card when you see it in person. The Meryl's another cute card. There's a lot of cards out of this set that are right around that $20 price point where you don't feel like you're breaking the bank, but at the same time you can collect a lot of cards from this set that are cute cards or nice cards to put in a binder. Last but not least out of it all is the base set. The base set cards, the Gardevoir is the top dog. It's about a $50 card raw. In a PSA 10, it's about $180 to $200 for Gardevoir. Nothing too crazy when it comes to Gardevoir. Drowsy is the other card that people cared about for a while out of this set. It's about a $30 card now. And it's about a $450 card in a PSA 10. Kirlia and Ralts were the other two cards that people liked. 25 raw for Kirlia and about 300 in a PSA 10, 280 to 300. And the Ralts is the other card out of this set. It's about a $25 to $30 card raw and about a $400 card in a PSA 10 right now. Shout out to Slowpoke. Shout out to Miraidon and Koraidon from this set. But really, this set only holds the top couple cards to the ones that really matter out of this set if you want to chase them. If you don't and you want to just collect them and put them in your binder, nothing wrong with that at all. The promos out of the whole entire era, I'm not going to go through, and we could be here for another hour dealing with just the promo cards from this set, but just know Gray Felt Hat, it's top dog, Snorlax from the 151, ETB is number 2, Charmander from 151 is number 3, and then the Pikachu promo is number 4, really. That's really what you're looking at when it comes to a lot of these cards. Squirtle, yeah, it is what it is. Wobbuffet from Destined Rivals, you know, those are your top chases. Why is this Pikachu, which box is it in? Scarlet and Violet. Is this the base card? It's leaving me right now where this card is out of. Paldea Evolved, thank you. The Pokemon Center from Paldea Evolved. I'm like, it's leaving me. I can't remember. Paldea Evolved is where it's out of. And then you got a couple others out there that everybody likes to collect. The Koraidon from Pokemon Center, the Sleepy Koraidon. In a PSA 10, it's extremely expensive. It's about a $1,300 card. So that's the Scarlet and Violet base ETB's promo from the Koraidon box. And that one's super expensive. So if you see that out there, compared to the Miraidon box from Scarlet and Violet base, that's where you see the difference. It's a basically $800 difference. So make sure you have the knowledge so that you can get the cards you want, and that's really what matters at the end of the day. Hey, hit that like button, comment down below what your thoughts are on the video, and yeah, sub to me. I can't thank y'all enough. We're grinding away almost 600 subs now. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, Pat out.